My name is Junry Bartido. Good day. Now, we are going to tackle about one of the literary piece of David Mandesi Diop, this poem titled Africa. A little background of the writer David Diop. David Diop, he was born on July 9, 1927. He is a revolutionary African poet born in France but with his parents of West African descent. He was known for his involvement in the Negritude movement in France. Negritude is that this is a kind of writing using the language of British people. This movement started by black writers, including David Diop, an artist protesting against French colonialism and its effect on African culture and the values. So David Diop died at the age of 33 in a plane crash. So I will read his poem so that we can understand thoroughly. Africa by David Mandesi Diop. Africa, my Africa. Africa of proud warriors in ancestral savannas. Africa of whom my grandmother sings. On the banks of the distant river. I have never known you, but your blood flows in my veins. Your beautiful black blood that irrigates the fields. The blood of your sweat, the sweat of your work, the work of your slavery. Africa, tell me, Africa, is this your back that is unbent? This back that never breaks under the weight of humiliation? This back trembling with red scars? And saying yes to weep under the misty sun. But a grave voice answers me. Impetuous child, that tree. Young and strong, that tree over there. Splendidly alone amidst white faded flowers. That is your Africa, springing up anew patiently, obstinately, whose fruit bit by bit acquires the better taste of liberty. So now let's go to this poem titled Africa. So the poem is all about the black people living in Africa that the writer David Diop highlighted the problems of Africa, brought about the colonialism and give message to the African people to bring about change and freedom. This poem encouraged the African people to stand up to the pain and the humiliation that they are suffering in their own land, and reminds the strength and pride of them. So let's go to his poem titled Africa by David Diop. This poem is all about the black people living in Africa. That the writer David Diop highlighted the problems of Africa, brought about the colonialism, and gave a message to African people to bring about change and freedom. This poem encouraged the African people to stand up to the pain and the humiliation that they are suffering in their own land, and reminds the strength and pride they have in them, and to say to no to the wave of the colonialists which make them to work under the mighty sun and leave scars on their backs. Despite of the suffering, the poems urge the black people to be strong and remain unbent and not let this break them despite the weight of suffering, to be able to taste the better liberty of the African people, no matter how hard to get the freedom they wanted for. What does the symbol that tree young and strong? So, in this poem, in the line stated that the tree young and strong, this line symbolizes the young people of Africa, who are patiently but obstinately waiting to get the better taste of liberty, for no matter how hard in getting it, The important is to be able to have a freedom from the suffering that they have. The line suggests that black people must not tired of waiting of their freedom they are longing for how many years, and symbolizes that the young African people must have a plan to do such thing in order for them to succeed and not act like a children. Just like a tree, African people must to stay strong and grow up despite of the challenges they experience and stand still after how many suffering they have encountered. What does the line, I never known you, but your blood flows in my veins? The poet David Diop, he emphasizes this line that even if he is not totally born in Africa, because he was born and grew up in France, but he loves Africa in a way that his mother and his father came from Cameroon and Senegal. Even if he is far from his homeland, Africa, but he is longing for it. David Diop continues to tell the readers of his poem that he has never have been visited Africa yet, and he never known so much about Africa. But despite of the distance in France and not in his native country, David Diop still acknowledges that Africa is so much part of his life. And David Diop misses Africa by emphasizing it in his poem Africa is his land, and his feeling of patriotism is there towards the Africa. How have the past effects of colonialism shaped the African present? Based on the poem of David Diop, Africa, I can say that these African people experience many undesirable experiences throughout their life during their colonialist, in a way that they treated as slaves and forced to work in a muddy sun without any compensation to get. What happened in the past decades lays the eye-opener to the African people in the present to escape the traumatic experiences of the past by not letting the other people to colonize them. How have the past effects of colonialism shaped the African present? Based on the poem of David Diop, Africa, I can say that these African people experience many undesirable experiences throughout their life during their colonialist, in a way that they traded as slaves and forced to work in a muddy sun without any compensations to get. What happened in the past decades led to the eye-opener of the African people in the present to escape the traumatic experiences of the past by not letting. What happened in the past decades made the African people in a traumatic situations that they will not forget for their entire lives. All the experiences that they encountered in the past shaped and molded the African people now in the present to be a better person and strong enough to fight for their own freedom. I conclude that this poem had the big impact of the black people in Africa in a way that this poem encouraged the African people to fight for their freedom against the colonialists.